Everyone here tonight, if you would, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated, please. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? So moved. Motion by Mr. Farrell. Second by Mr. Clark. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, no. Motion passed. Do we have any additions to the agenda? Would anyone like to remove any item from the consent agenda so that it may be discussed for discussion? If, we have one field trip to add. It's all been signed off on. It's been signed off on. If there's no objection, we'd like to put it in with the field trips too.
I'll make a motion we add.
Okay. If
No, we don't need one, would we?
if there's no objection, then do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
A second? Second. We have a first by Mr. Davidson and a second by Ms. McClurkin. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, no. Motion passed. Next item is Ms. Lisa Bennett. Good afternoon, Ms. Bennett.
Hey, how are you?
Good evening.
All right, I get the opportunity tonight to talk to you about some of our teachers that earned tenure for the 2018-19 school year. And as you know, in July of 2011, the tenure law changed and it made it a little bit harder for teachers to receive tenure. So they have to serve 5 school years for not less than 45 months within a 7-year probationary period. And they also have to score 2 years in a row at above expectation. So that means a level 4 or a level 5 for 2 consecutive years. And what I'm going to do at this time, there are 19 teachers that earned tenure this year. First, I'm going to recognize those teachers that were unable to attend tonight. First of all would be Kimberly Wade from Atoka, Renee Nist from Austin P. Elementary, Rebecca Harris from Brighton Elementary, Stanley Gatlin from Brighton High School, Fuzelle Richardson from Brighton High School, Megan Young from Covington High School, Blossom Adams from Crestview Elementary, Morgan Salas from Crestview Elementary, Nicholas Markle from Mumford High, Laura Riley from Mumford High, and Christine Carnes, who works system-wide. And I would like to recognize the other teachers who have been able to attend tonight. And when I call your name, if you would, please come up and receive your certificate. Miss Leslie Christian from Atoka Elementary School. Thank you. She teaches my grandson too, so. Samantha Murphy from Brighton Elementary School. Congratulations. All right. Jake Kaiser from Covington High School. Congratulations. Jennifer Akins from Crestview Elementary School. Congratulations, Jennifer. All right. Heather Rose from Mumford Elementary School. Caitlin Young from Mumford Elementary School. Melanie Avant from Mumford Middle School. And Aubriana Inman from Mumford Middle School.
Hey.
you could make it tonight. Congratulations.
Go ahead and take Monday off.
That's a nice guy right there.
And it is not required that you stay for the whole meeting.
Thank y'all. Thank you. A lot over this time. It is, that's great. Next up is Dr. Byrd, Director of Instruction Report.
Thank you, Mr. Burleson. Just a couple of things. First of all, thanks to the board members who attended our District Teachers of the Year reception yesterday. We did honor those teachers at our principals meeting, and we appreciate a couple of our board members who were able to come. Also, just to let you know, we want to congratulate our District Principal of the Year for this year will be Mr. Steve Zerhelen, the principal at our Alternative Learning Center, and the District Supervisor of the Year is Ms. Brooke Shipley, our K-5 supervisor. So congratulations to them, and we know they'll represent Tipton County well. At this time, Ms. Melissa Chipman, Ms. Marla Phillips are here to talk with you a few minutes about our E-rate funding and Children's Internet Protection Act. Did I get that right? Okay, perfect.
You did. Okay. We're going to give you a brief overview of why the Children's Internet Protection Act, or CIPA, is important to E-rate. All the schools may qualify for discounts on their internet or their communications, on their internal connections, managed internal broadband services, and basic maintenance of internal connections. Now, we apply for this every year, and depending on the amount of poverty in your district, you either qualify from anywhere from 20% to 90% a discount. It also matters whether or not you're classified as rural, and we are. Tipton County receives 80% discount. And why is that important to us? Well, Melissa and I brought one of our invoices for our internet, and one of the monthly invoices would be $45,681 without E-rate. But with E-rate, we pay $9,136.20. And that's just the E-rate part. We also have a lot that we have benefited through internal connections. Now, in order to get this E-rate, we have to be CIPA compliant.
All right. And in order to do that, we have some things that we have to adhere to. And we have our information for safe internet for students on our website. Included is a video that explains how Content Keeper, which is our tool that filters so that we can keep our students safe. There's a video showing how that's used in our environment. And we will be providing our teachers, our library media specialists, and our computer lab teachers with extra resources so that they can remind and reinforce our students the appropriate way to behave on the internet and safe procedures on that internet and everything. And Dr. Byrd will be sharing that link with you. There's a video that talks all about Content Keeper and what it does for us to help protect the children. But in order to continue with E-rate, we have to provide education for our students as well. So we try to make strides to do that. Anybody have any questions about E-rate or CIPA compliance with us?
We like the savings.
In this day and time, we need all the protection we can get. That's what
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes, I think it's great. And the discount, like Dr. Combs said, that's fabulous. I mean, yeah.
So one internet provider gives us service at all the schools?
Yes. Now, bids go out, and then from those bids, one is selected.
Okay.
And we use ENA, Educational Networks of America. The
And it works
majority-
through phone lines?
Well, through fiber that
Okay.
run. And yes, ENA, they work with some of the local companies,
Mhm.
and yes, so we have fiber from the schools.
I just assumed y'all use Comcast or.
No, it's not quite that simple.
No.
Because many times, quite frankly, Comcast or somebody will be down and ours is still going.
which is nice. And it does kind of go through the phones and we're VoIP, so.
Yes, we have voice over IP. So yes, in that sense, you're right, it is the phones.
Do we
Over
ever
the
come
internet.
out very often? Very often do we have outages?
I would say there's a very small percentage.
It hasn't been in a while that
Right.
we've had a very large outage at all.
That sounds good.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. Y'all, anybody else have any questions? Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The last thing I have is we have Beth Smith here with us tonight. Ms. Beth, if you'll come on up. She is a first grade teacher at Brighton Elementary School and a recent graduate of West Teach, and she's going to share just a few minutes about some of her experiences with you.
I know I was told I could only have 5 minutes. Anybody that knows me knows I can talk more than 5 minutes. So I'm going to, real quickly, I first am here to thank you. I am the first teacher from Tipton County to attend the second West Teach, and it is because you okayed me to go. Last year, Dr. Combs and I believe Dr. Fisher and a couple other of you put my name in the hat, and Latoya, our principal, came to me and said, you need to fill this out now, they've got to have it. I was like, oh, what is it? But it's probably one of the best experiences I could have had as a teacher. Met with 22 other educators in West Tennessee. We spent 2 days in August, a day in September, October, a day Thanksgiving break. I went on my Thanksgiving break. And yes, and we graduated in January. Our project is an education summit. So February 28th, we will be meeting with superintendents. I've got a list who will serve on the panel, just to let you know. 2 educators from our school, our program, were chosen, and I was chosen as one of those educators. So I will serve on this panel with the following people to discuss education, commerce, what are we doing in West Tennessee to see that the needs of our children are being met in our schools. This is an invitation. I would like to invite you, if you are free, to come. There's a registration. I forwarded it to Dr. Combs, and I can get it forwarded to you to, if you're interested. The summit we collected questions from teachers and superintendents and anyone. I put it on my Facebook, and I had some questions coming in from some friends to ask, and everyone on this panel will get the questions ahead of time, and we will get to research and come to the discussion with data. Data is the big thing, and I think that that's important, that we not blindside anybody with our concerns in education, but we all can come together to discuss the education. The West Teach program has been great. We visited different schools, we visited corporations, we traveled and we saw the need for VOTEC, the need for the higher education, what schools are doing. I would like to challenge you to next year when we do our West Teach, that we not only send somebody, but we also look at sponsoring one of those days that they have it. It was a great thing for that community that we went, that we got to see what that city, what that school system was doing. And we traveled, we went to Tyson Foods, we went to several manufacturing places in Brownsville. We did, probably the most impactful thing we did was a poverty simulation, where we went to Jackson and we met in groups. We were pre-assigned, we had no idea, and we were given a packet, and we were a family poverty trying to survive. And we had to survive. We had to pay bills. We had people steal from us. We had to borrow money. They did not understand. A lot of them were going to the cash advance. And my banking was like, guys, don't go to cash advance. It's 28% interest rate. Go to the bank. And I think that that's where it helped us as teachers see what the needs are in our community to help families with. We have Delta Human Resource Agency here in Tipton County that's a great resource agency for families. We have Carl Perkins Center. We have so much that we need to get out to our families. And one of the things was this Impact Tennessee that we got was the resource guide for local communities, and here it's Tipton County, and it gives what we offer our families. But if the families don't know it's there, we can't offer it to them. So we as teachers said, hey, our group wants the next challenge to be a poverty council. Henderson County is already doing this. And the poverty council that we are challenging our next West Teach students to go with is to establish it in our communities where there is a central line that they can call. Your junior auxiliary, your Rotary Club, your banks, your businesses, your schools can all come together to offer services or get somebody the services they need. So this will be our challenge for our next group. I would love to see you come together again and send another teacher. I know it's only one teacher per school, yes, ma'am, per district, but there are teachers out there that can probably do way more than I can do. But I will tell you, my eyes are opened, and I am excited about what this has brought to me that I can bring back and share with our school and our district. Thank you once again for letting me go to it. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's all I had unless somebody had a question.
Anybody have any questions? Thank you, Dr. Burke. Dr. Charlotte Fisher, Director of Operations.
Good evening. In your packets, you have a flyer on the adult education classes. I wanted you to see we have expanded our classes day and evening. We are now offering classes in Covington, Munford area, Drummond Elementary, Austin P, and Munford Elementary as well. So I just wanted you to have this flyer so you can see the locations of those classes and the times that they are offered. We've been sending flyers home with all of our students. Today we mailed out letters to all of the area churches, so that's about 65 that we sent out today. And of course, we're passing out flyers at businesses as well. So just want to make everyone aware in the community if you would share this information as well. Earlier this month, Governor Bill Lee and the Tennessee Department of Education have awarded startup grants to fund middle school career technical education. You received some information about that. Governor Lee has stated the sooner we can introduce valuable career technical skills to students, the better prepared they are to enter the workforce when they graduate. So Tipton County Schools has been awarded a $27,000 grant to expand career exploration and career technical education in our 3 middle schools. And we're excited on being awarded this grant, as well as it will provide additional opportunities to create and to strengthen interest in our high school CTE programming. So this is a great step for us, and we're really excited about it. Hoping to share in some of the interests that some of our students have as they transition to high school. So that's really all I have. I just wanted to make sure you were aware of what we have. Do y'all have any questions?
For Dr. Burke, for Dr. Fisher?
Any questions? Okay, Mr. Liggins.
Hello, good evening.
Charlie.
I'm here to present the school bus bids for your consideration and answer any questions you may have. I'm looking at the bids received. We bid 6 78-passenger transit buses, and we bid a sped preschool bus that has a wheelchair lift in it. The bid that we recommend came in the lowest was a Bluebird made by Central States. 6 school buses at $95,993 for a total of $575,958. It's about a $12,000 difference from the other company. The sped preschool bus, there were 3 buses bid to us, and the one that we would like to purchase will hold 20 passengers. It's the bid number 2 for the Thomas bus. The other 2 buses will only hold 8 passengers in a wheelchair lift. So for $2,700 more, we can get a bus that's larger and can hold 12 more passengers.
I think there might be a typo there, so that should be 69,656
For bid number
It's-
2.
for bid number 2 instead of 66,956,
That's
right?
what I have. I have 69,656,000 for the SPED preschool bid number 2 for Mid-South Bus.
Out past the equal sign, it's.
That one should be 69 also, that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying, okay.
Yes,
I didn't know if
mean,
there's some kind
I
of,
can read them if you want me to.
no,
He's talking about that one, this one.
Second.
69 should be 69. See, theirs says 66 right here. It's just a typo on theirs. Yours says, his is right. It says
okay,
69.
all right.
Ours says, yeah.
Wanted to make sure it's not a discount or something.
No.
You always gotta ask.
Yeah, that's a good point. Are there any questions about these bus bids that's been presented? The recommendation that we received? If not, do we have a motion to accept the bids?
I make a motion to accept his recommendation to buy the 78 passenger from Central States and the bid number 2 from Mid-South.
Okay.
I second that.
Have a motion by Mr. Clark and a second by Mr. Benson. Are there any other questions about it? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. And those opposed, no. Motion passed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Ms. Peggy Murdock, financial report.
Yes, sir. Good evening. I have a few things for you tonight. My first thing is, remember last month, you took under consideration the bid from A2H? And so I'm asking what your pleasure is on that.
We had a bid from A2H last month, and
On what?
On there, we had the bid that from A2H for the lowest bid was the, what, 519,000? We took it under advisement, but my thinking is y'all need to reject that so we can move forward with what we're planning on doing.
yeah,
We haven't rejected it, we just took it under
yeah, we
advisement.
need to
So we
officially.
probably need to reject that.
I make a motion to reject.
Exactly.
Good.
I have a motion by Mr. Clark. Do we have a second? Second by Ms. McClurkin. Is there any discussion on it? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, no. Motion passed.
Okay, great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So does that mean we can move away from this?
Absolutely. I mean, yes, sir.
All right, and I'm going to yield some time to Dr. Combs to bring you an update on the capital improvement plan.
This one?
Yes.
All right, Dr. Rebecca, look me up over here. All right, so, as you know, I think it was the meeting before last, I went over the whole capital improvement PowerPoint with y'all and kind of showed you what we're talking about for the next 5 years out, last year and then the next 4 anyway. This is the final summary sheet. This is the last sheet. So I wanted you to see this because a few of these numbers have changed a little bit, and I wanted to explain it to you. So fiscal year 1920, the one in pink there is the one we're looking at. The one in green we've already done, obviously. Our total, if we go through every slide and go through all that stuff I showed y'all for this year, the total for all those capital improvements would be $2,400,437. That includes exact bids from Graybar for what it's going to cost to retrofit LED lighting on the exterior of all of our buildings and the interior of this building, the CO2 building, and the media center. That way we can see interior, how that works, what kind of savings we get, and then next year we'll project it out to start doing the interior for all the other schools. All right, now, in saying that, the LED upgrade, and we priced this out, the LED upgrade to the outside buildings for CO1, CO2, media center, and then of course all the exterior lightings is going to cost us about $69,225 for the bulbs. Our people will install those. Our maintenance will install those, okay? That should save us $114,000 a year. So you're paying almost $70,000. We should rake in a savings of about 114. And that's just for exterior and these 3 buildings. Obviously, we'd like to see that savings get bigger next year as we continue out. But that's just to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at when we look at those numbers. So that 24, the 2,400,437 includes the estimates from Graybar on that lighting that we can go through U.S. Communities with. U.S. Communities, did I say that right? Okay. And then also that includes, I added in that capital improvement line $150,000 for Munford High and $150,000 for Brighton High to use for athletic facility upgrades. As you know, we're spending a lot of money working on upgrading some stuff at Covington High, as we've talked about. We're putting some in-kind money in that and still working on that project. I just want to make sure that we don't neglect the other 2 schools. They do have some athletic upgrades that are necessary, not to the extent that Covington does, but they do have some that are necessary. And I just think it would be a good move if we're able to put that money in there. We're going to earmark that money and say, the principal give us feedback and say, what do you see athletic upgrades that you need at those facilities that will help improve those situations? I already know that there's some baseball needs and such at Munford High, and I also know that at Brighton, the press box is dilapidated and needs some repair on the press box. I've already gotten that input from them if they're interested in doing that. So that number includes that 150 for each one of those as well. So with that said, and then you can see what we have in there in budget, 177 and 141. When you take those out, our total is going to be the $2,023,885. You subtract that from the $2,400,437 that I've projected for this year. That leaves us with a need of about $376,552. So all that to say this, my request from you is that you allow me to go to the Finance Committee and ask them for $380,000 out of our fund balance so that we can complete all of those capital improvements this year and get all those done. That would bring our total ask from fund balance for this year to $1 million, right? Because we use the bonus, we count the bonus that we asked out of fund balance, and then this extra to get us to these capital improvement needs that we need. That would be $1 million that we've asked for from the Finance Committee. But obviously, I need y'all's approval before I go to them and ask for that.
Do we have a motion for Dr. Cole's request for the Finance Committee? Have a motion by Mr. Davidson. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Farrell. Is there any questions to him or?
I just got one quick one about the lighting. Do you have historical data on the wattage that we've used? And
Yes.
you don't have to show it to me.
No, we do. Well, and yeah, I won't go because it's fairly detailed, but this is the cost savings estimate they gave us. We have wattage, we have amount per,
So we're really going to know if we're saving.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And, and it may vary a little bit because even some of these wattage, we may put a couple outside fixtures up and think, you know what, that's not quite bright enough, and we may need to adjust it. And so that would change it a little bit, but we're going to know that after the first year. Yes, sir.
If there are any other questions? If there are no other questions, all those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, no. Motion passed. Dr. Combs.
May I ask Dr. Combs a question other than this? Have you projected any need for capital improvement if we indeed get an Army JROTC unit?
We are going to, Mr. Macklin actually has been working on that. He's kind of been my go-to on that one. He's been working with this. We can't do it this year, correct? Because there were no openings this year. And it looks like next year.
We've already applied for next year.
Correct. And that cost was going to be about, what was it, 100 and something thousand per?
So it's shared with the teachers. I think we split the teacher costs. I believe that's right. I'd have to go back and look at it.
It would be, I'm thinking about 120, something like that for that position. So we would want to project that to fiscal year 2021 if it's something we decided to do, or even the year after that to try to get that in, because it's a pretty hefty price tag for that. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Good
you.
question. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Ms. Payne.
Yes, sir, thank you. All right, so we also need you to I'm not sure if we just need your approval or a resolution. We would like your approval for us to join and be a member of Buy Board. You all probably have heard of that at your TSBA meetings. It's just a consortium of groups that can buy all of their purchase prices. And the other one is called One GPA. They're the same thing. They're just buying cooperatives, but we need your approval for us to do that. So if we could, I think we probably need that in the minutes.
Right. Do we need a motion? Have a motion by Mr. Farrell, second by Ms. Rozelle. Are there any questions to Ms. Murdock about that?
And there are no costs to either
No
one of
cost.
these.
It's
It's free.
service through TSBA. It's actually, you can buy things cheaper
You can.
through Buy
And
Board.
not have to have the
Right.
expense of putting together an RFP and
Right.
bidding it out. But we may not ever use it, but if we do, if we need it, it'll be there for us to utilize. Please.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. That motion passed.
Okay, great. And then I have the lease agreements. I didn't make a copy of all of the pages in there, but we do have replacement on the contract in the board and Crestview Middle, some things that the board takes care of. It's a $5,900 bill that they're going to give us an upgrade in machines, but not increase our price. So that's very nice. And then also, we need your approval on the lease agreement for copiers at Brighton High School. So that's what those two papers are that you have.
Make a motion, we approve those lease agreements.
Motion by Mr. Benson, second by Mr. Clark. Any questions? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passed.
Okay, great, thank you. And let's do the budget next, and that comes right after Dr. Combs's request for the $380,000. It's a lot of paper to get to very little on the budget, but it still has to be done. So in addition to the money that we need for capital improvement, we have enough money in the budget to move money to pay for the 350 laptops that we purchased, that I believe we told you all about that last month. So if you'll look on page 2 of budget 141, you'll see that we took $50,000 out of state retirement. For some reason, there was more in there than we needed, and $50,000 out of medical insurance. And that will turn the page, and we'll put that $100,000 into 722 for regular instructional equipment. So that will take care of the cost. The bill, I think, was $95,000. So that will take care of that cost that we just made that purchase. And then if you'll turn over to the last page, you'll see the $380,000 that we're asking for. And that shows up just in the other capital outlay that will come out of the fund balance, that $380,000. And if you look down on that column, the third from the bottom, you'll see that we are in the negative at $1 million. And that $1 million is the 620 for the bonus and the 380 for capital improvement. And then if you look at Fund 177, you'll see where that $380,000 goes. So it's going to go from the transfer out in 141 to the transfer in 177. And then we're expending it in 706 at $380,000. You can see where it came out of 141, went into 177. All of that money, Dr. Combs and I decided that it needed to go into 177. So if something happens that we're not able to expend it all this year, it won't go back into the fund balance. It will stay able to be accessed in 177 because 177 does not have a fund balance. It is a fund balance. So that kind of clears up what we're having to do with that. And then, of course, 142 was not going to be outdone. They had to have a little bit of money moved as well. And it's on page 3, all they're doing is moving $28,632.50 out of the teacher line and into other salaries and wages. They needed more money in a different personnel line. So they're taking it out of one and into another. There's absolutely nothing else that they have to do, but in order to pay their last payroll in March, they have to have that moved. So those are 3 changes in the budget.
Do we have a motion to approve the amended budget items as presented?
Make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Clark, and second by Mr. Davidson. Any questions? Those in favor say aye. Aye. And those opposed, no. Motion passed.
Thank you. All right, so for the financial report, on 141, we receipted $8,394,379. 10% of our budget was receipted. We expended $6,835,091, 8.1% of our expenditures. So we're higher on our receipts than we are on expenditures, always good on a financial report. Questions on 141? 142, federal budget. They have receipted $497,179. That's 7.1% of their budget. And they have expended $506,535, 7.3. And as you know, they will end up being even at the end, even though they aren't today. Questions on 142? Cafeteria, they have receipted $407,729, 7.1% of their budget, and they've expended $498,427, 8.4%. Remember, we're over on our expenditures in that budget as well, so that's why that swell in the expenditures, that $185,000 that we got several months back is in there. Any questions on 143? Capital projects, the revenue is as it always is, and then in January we spent $18,264, 1% of the budget. Any questions?
Do we have a motion to approve the financial report as presented? Motion by Mr. Furley, second by Ms. McClarkin. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Murdock. That brings us up to Dr. Combs to add anything else before we're done.
I think we're good to go. There's plenty going on. The team's been working incredibly hard. It's a great group of teachers. You saw some tenured teachers. That's a pretty neat accomplishment, so I'm glad they got to come and be recognized. Everything's going well.
Good.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Anybody else have anything to add?
I think you and your crew ought to take Monday off too, Dr. Combs.
Y'all heard him. Thank you. Santa Claus, I'm generous to you. Go ahead.
We've got on the Covington High School and thank God.
It's going well. We have, it's been staked out. We're revising the plans just a little bit. Mr. Donnie is we're actually working with Shannon Reed in the county and working on some stuff there. They've really helped us out on that. So I think we're going to save a whole lot of money, and basically get what we wanted in the first place. So we're always doing some other things. So I think it's going to be good.
Good. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Mr. Clark, second by Mr. Farrell. We stand adjourned.